have been turned upside down. But the group that has been very heavily affected by RV restrictions is a group of RVers called full-timers. That's right, folks. These are people that live in an RV full-time and don't have a home base to go back to if they're told that they can't RV anymore. So recently we spoke with Jay Luster and his wife, who were camping in Virginia at the same spot for several weeks when they were given 1 hour's notice to move out. And we think you'll enjoy their story. Here's what they have to say.
New England has been impacted as far as when they can go RVing.
You know, a lot of people like myself, today would be the day, today and tomorrow would be the day that I would be getting the RV out of winter storage, getting it dewinterized, getting it all cleaned up, and getting excited about our first trip, usually in the first or second week of April. But we're holding back. The campgrounds don't open for another month. But most of the talk has been centered about having people stay put in their own house. That's great if you've got your own house. But how about what I call the most underserved community out there within the RV world? And that is the people that are full-timers. So to talk about a little bit of how they were impacted, I am going to bring up my friend. He's my good friend. I've known him for 10 minutes. His name is Jay Luster. And Jay and his wife, Elle, are talking to us from a formerly undisclosed location in Virginia. But Jay, welcome back to New England. We just found out you're an old New Englander.
Yeah.
Welcome to RVing in New England. And tell us a little bit about your story, because, you know, you are a full-timer and you've certainly been impacted.
Well, thanks for having me on, John. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this. It's not an undisclosed location. It's just a campground called Cozy Acres, and it's in Powhatan, Virginia.
But undisclosed sounds more dramatic.
It really does, yeah. Well, recently, as pretty much everybody already knows, governors everywhere are basically foreshortening everybody's stay in campgrounds, and the governor of Virginia is no different. His decree was 14 days or less, and you have to leave. Well, we'd been staying at a place called Shenandoah Crossing, about 30 minutes to the east of Charlottesville, and we'd been there for months. But we've been just making reservations a couple of weeks at a time. Mm-hmm. And because we fell under the 14 days, they had to kick us out. And so
you didn't get like a 1 week notice. You got what, like a 1 hour notice, right?
Yeah, they called us and said, we're sorry, but you have to leave. And so I talked to them about giving us till the next day, and they were nice enough to do that. But I mean, in reality, they didn't have to. So, I appreciated that. And the next day we got up and we contacted this place. We'd stayed here before for, a day or two at a time, and they do monthlies, and we knew that. Shenandoah Crossing was costing us about $150, $200 a month to stay there. Mm-hmm. And here, between the monthly rental, the deposit, which we'll get that back, but also storage for a trailer that we have, plus electricity, we're going to be looking at a minimum of $725 a month. And to make matters worse, my wife was laid off.
Well, that was a question I had that's strictly related to this coronavirus. The layoff became, because of the work that she was involved with, her job was not necessary because the business had petered out to nothing, where I guess the employer didn't want to keep her on, regardless of what the situation is. I don't know. Does she want to come in and talk with you, or is she doing something else right now? Or
no, she's shy.
Okay,
she's never shy. She's not coming in. And also, just to correct you just a little bit, her job wasn't unnecessary. She's the general manager of a cleaning company, and cleaning company was actually considered to be one of the things that was necessary. But what's happened is her customer base has little by little disappeared because they're all afraid. She has a lot of people that are elderly and things like that, and they don't want the maids coming in. They're not maids, the house cleaners rather, coming in and possibly either getting sick from them or bringing sickness in. And so, right. So this wasn't a small job. She wasn't a house cleaner herself. She was running the company.
Right. So basically, you got into a situation where you had to change locations. You're, I guess, within an hour of your former location. Luckily, you were aware of this facility before. So you've got the double whammy of increased cost and lower income.
Absolutely.
Which is not an easy pill to swallow. So your plans for the next month, 2 months, 3 months are what?
Well, right now, we're going to sit tight. And if this, we're going to try and figure out if this is going to be a long-term issue or if this is going to be something that's going to blow over. Frankly, I don't think it is going to blow over. This is a untreatable, incurable virus. And until they come up with an inoculation from it, it's going to be with us. So I don't see it going anywhere. And so our plan includes a lot of things like maybe even buying something, which we kind of swore we would never do again.
Getting off the road.
I'm sorry?
Getting off the road.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And we don't want that. But there is another consideration that we have is that my wife has an illness which makes her immunocompromised, and the drugs that she's taking are immunosuppressants. So it's necessary for us to social distance, as a necessity in a way that a lot of healthy people wouldn't even consider.
So we want to thank Jay so much for spending time with us and telling us his story, and let you know that throughout this crisis, we will be reporting on the latest issues with full-timers and other people and organizations that are affiliated with the great business of RVing. So thank you so much for joining us. And remember, every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern, on Facebook Live at the New England RV Dealers Association Facebook page, you'll be able to catch our show. And during the crisis, we'll be also on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. So Saturday Night Live with RVing in New England. Have a great day, everybody.